Today I will tell you about my 10 favorite orchids, the ones that I own, that I've seen bloom before. These are the plants that I intend to keep for the rest of my life, or that I intend to buy it again because I've lost some of them. So from all of the blooms that I've seen, I have lots of orchids that have never bloomed for me, but from the ones that have bloomed and I've seen here in my house, I'm gonna tell you which ones are my favorite. It doesn't mean that these plants are the best ones for beginners to grow or for any, I don't know, there is not any specific requirement to grow these plants. These are the blooms and flowers and orchids that I enjoy. Just a caveat before I start talking about them. So let's start and let's dive in. The first one, I will start with a lost, but I will place some pictures here for you. So the first one that I've lost, and it's one of my favorite orchids, it's a miniature one. It's my Tolunia carrot, Gyrac carrot, I think, may have other names in there, but that's how I found it and I bought it. It's a hybrid. I love Tolunia so much. I think I've said that other times in this channel. This one specifically, I love the flowers, I love the color combo, the mixture of yellow, red, and orange. And more than that, this is a color change orchid. So it means that the flowers will bloom, will open with a certain color. And as time goes, or as the flower starts to fade in some way, the color changes. So this one, when it first bloomed, it looks like very reddish in color, but after maybe 1-2 weeks, the flowers became completely orange, very orange and yellow flowers. So it's very fun to have these flowers. They definitely change completely in color while the flower ages. It's a tiny and compact flower that you can have at your home. You can keep it everywhere. The only thing is that usually Tolumias, they do enjoy their bright light, so they need bright light to grow. But more than that, it's a Tolumnia, so if you do well with Tolumias, I super recommend this one. I find it beautiful. I bought it here in the UK, I think from Spices Orchid Plant. I don't think they have it anymore, but it is definitely one of my top orchids, so I intend to buy it again soon. It's the first post on my Instagram when I opened my One Orchid a Day Instagram account. That was the first picture that I posted. So just to show you how much I loved that plant back then. That's definitely one of my favorite orchids. So this is the first one that I'm gonna tell you. And just to let you know, this list has no particular order. So I will show you and talk to you about these flowers in the same order that they came to my life. Number 2. Since it's in no particular order, the second one that I had and I also lost, this one is one of the, I don't know, it's one that I'm most sad about. It is called Philanopsis Bear King, and this hybrid can have different colors and I believe different patterns as well, and has a beautiful fragrance that reminds me of one berry that we have in Brazil. The fragrance for me is exactly like that berry. I love this plant so much, and I think what's very special for me, that I found it on eBay, I think, in 2020. Someone was selling it for less than £20. So I think I bought it for £15. It was very cheap. If you try to find this plant here in the UK right now, the prices are gonna be so high for many different reasons. First of all, we can't import from European Union, so the price changed because of Brexit and everything. So it's gonna be really hard for me to find the exactly same hybrid again for the same price. And more than that, what I love about this flower, another curiosity about me, is that I love red. So you find a pattern there, probably have seen like that's the second flower, and it's red as well. And the color is beautiful. It's a pure like red Bear King, and I love the color and I love the smell. The fragrance is so good. So I wish I had the same plant again. What happened is my Philanopsis, I think it was an old one, something happened with the crown, so it produced a cake, and when I removed the cake, I've done probably something wrong. The cake rot, so I lost its cake. I lost mother plant and I lost its cake. So it's pretty sad, but that's definitely one of my favorite Phalaenopsis as well. And I really want to have this plant back. So that's why this is my second favorite plant here. Let's go to the third one. So the third one is not only one, it's a group of flowers because I don't think I have a favorite one, but I had one that blooms for me that was my favorite. It's a no ID, but I love Miltoniopsis so much. I still have 3 Miltoniopsis, I think. They were heavily affected by thrips. I've done a video, I've talked about that so much, I'm not gonna repeat myself, but basically pests munch up all of my orchid. Oh, it's pretty sad. So I lost the one that I'm telling you that is one of my favorites because it has this purple vibrant color with that cascading on the lip. So gorgeous, so beautiful, beautiful fragrance. If you have ever smelled a Miltoniopsis, the fragrance is very similar to rose. So if you want to have an orchid that smells like rose, Miltoniopsis may be an option for you. And it's beautifully fragrant. I don't think you can get sick with its fragrance. The only thing about Miltoniopsis is that they are not very easy to grow. It's not an orchid for beginner. It has very specific requirement. Usually people that live in cooler countries can be more successful with it because it's definitely in the realm of cool to intermediate to growing orchid. It can be quite tricky if you live in a warm, hot country, just to let you know. But come on, I found the flowers are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. They are beautiful, different colors, different pattern, beautiful fragrance. Anyway, it's definitely one of my favorite orchids. I wish I can have at least one Miltoniopsis near me. Hopefully it will bloom and rebloom because I love them. I love them so much. So that's why they are here and they are my third favorite option. So number 4. So number 4, it's a large plant. Not super large like Vandas, it's not a Vanda. So the fourth plant that's the orchid, that's one of my favorite, is my Truecapillian modulata. That's a species from South America. What I love about that is because the flowers, they're a little bit different from the other orchids that I have. They look a little bit distorted, and I think the reddish center with the white stripes, the contrast with the flowers, it's gorgeous. And also how the plant blooms. So the blooms, they come on the side of the Truecapillia, and it produces large flowers as well. So it's one of the most interesting flowers that I've seen. I still own this plant, I haven't lost it. It hasn't rebloomed this year because it was infested with snails when I bought it. So I had to treat it, but because it has so many leaves, some of these snails survived. I used hydrogen peroxide, but they survived in between the leaves. So 1 year late, I discovered there was still some there, and they are quite tricky. They munch the roots, especially new roots. So the plant was not blooming as expected and growing as expected. So I unpotted, treated everything, bought it back again, and now it's doing fine. Super health plant, produced many new growths, but not a small Truecapillia. So if you're looking for a small plant, this one's not for you. It's definitely a large Truecapillia. By the way, I may mispronounce most of these names, so I will leave all the names down below and also here in the description. So if you want to buy any of these plants, you have the correct name. You don't need to try to understand what I'm saying. Let's go to the next one. I think that's the 5th plant, the 5th orchid that I love so much and wish it's going to be forever in my wish list or maybe in my collection. Who knows? Let's go. The next one is one of the orchids that it's in everybody's probably wish list or collection. Everybody loves this plant so much and talks about it. It's the Philanopsis bellina. It's a classical species of Philanopsis to have if you collect orchids. Lots of people talk a lot about it. So it's definitely one of my favorite plants. So that's why it made this list. What I love about the Philanopsis bellina is, first of all, mine is a super healthy plant, produces lots of roots. The flowers, the fragrance, it's an amazing fragrance. I'm not really into fragrance of most of my orchids. I'm quite sensitive to it, Another curiosity about me, I'm deaf from one side, completely deaf. I have like 0% from my left side, so I only hear from my right side. And I always joke that affects some of my perceptions, and maybe that's why I have my sensitivity to smells and tastes is so high. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I like to tell people that I'm a person very, very sensitive to fragrance and taste and all that. So I can't with some strong fragrance like Cherry Baby that everybody loves, like it has to be far away from me because I cannot with its fragrance. I do have one, by the way. But the bellina is one of the fragrances that I like, that I enjoy. I enjoy the flower. I think it's beautiful. The flower is beautiful. I love the contrast. I don't have a beautiful footage of it. That's my fault. I do have a reel on Instagram, but not. I need to film it properly next year. But it's definitely one of my favorite plants. It is in my collection, and I love it so much. Next one. So the next one, it's an Oncidian. Uh, I forgot the name right now, and I discovered that I didn't tag it on my phone. So I'll leave the name down below. I found it locally in a garden center, but if I was to pick an Oncidian, I think this one is very interesting for the same reason that I mentioned the Tolunia in the beginning, because it produces beautiful tiny flowers. It's very similar to the Twinkle, but the flowers are a little bit larger. And the interesting about that, I think it's called Sunset, something Sunset, I'm not sure, is that when the flower aids, it changes color completely. So you have purple and then become like orange, not purple, pinkish, and then becomes like orange yellowish, which is really, really nice. So that's why it made it to my list. I found it locally. It was pretty cheap, but I do believe the flowers are beautiful. It's not a massive Oncidian or intergeneric. It's one that you can keep everywhere. It is fragrant as well, but not something that can make you sick. But what I think I love the most about this plant is the fact that you can have a cluster of two different colors at the same time. And it's very, very interesting looking at that plant. So I love it so much. So that's why it made it to this list. And because I didn't want to repeat and talk about another red flower, I almost thought about it, but everything would be red then. So I said, let's show you something different. But yeah, I love this plant, so that's why it's in my list as well. Let's go to the next plant. I lost count and don't know where I am now. But the next plant is you probably, if you follow me here, you know which plant probably would be in this list because I talk about it so much. It's present in so many different videos. It is my Proscantia Vitalina, another classical for collections and collectors. I love this plant so much. I can't express how surprised I was with its last blooming. The flowers last for like 3-4 months, I think. The color, the shape, how it blooms, and also the leaves. They are, I don't know, they're green of the leaf. It's like bluish in a way. It's opaque. So I love how its leaves look like. And I love this plant. I don't know how to express that, but that's one of the plants that I want to keep. And I want to grow it healthier and healthier and healthier. Hopefully I won't lose it. This year I'm gonna have more than one flower spike, so keep tuned. I will definitely show you when I have its blooms. So that's one of my favorite orchids, and you probably know that the first video that I have here, it was in bloom. Yeah, so that's why I think this is my maybe 8th or 9th plant. I'm not sure anymore. Let's keep, I think we are almost heading towards the end. To give you some variety and not keeping talking about the same plants over and over again. My next plant on this list is a Paphiopedilum. If I had to choose one of the Paphiopedilums to keep from all of my collection of Paphiopedilums, I would keep the Bellatulum because I find it so cute. There is an explanation for that, the cuteness of the flowers. I love how that chunk flower looks like, maybe like a bulldog, a cute animal, I don't know, with that white flower full of like a dark brown spots. I found cute, very cute. There is nothing else that I want to say. It's just that I found cute. And on top of that, it has mottled leaves as well, which I think complete the cuteness of it all. The flower comes in a short spike. So it's not the type of Paphiopedilum that will have a long flower spike, so it's going to be short. It's not massive either, but I do find the flower cute, cute, cutie, and it's so easy to care for. It's the same thing for all of the other Paphiopedilums that I own. That's why I decided to place it on my list. So that's the Paphiopedilum that I would keep forever. That's my 9th orchid that I would choose to keep if I had to choose only between 10 plants. And to conclude this list, the 10th one, it's also a plant that I talked in the last month. It was a surprise for me, but it made here because I love how wild it looks. I love how different for me it is from my other orchids. Not in terms of structure, it's a monopodio like Philanopsis and Vandas, but it's really nice having a only nighttime fragrance. I don't like the fragrance, by the way, talking about fragrance sensitivity. I couldn't sleep near it, but it's fine. It only smells during nighttime, so it's okay. I'm okay with that. But I love the flowers. They don't last for a very long time, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum. They fade pretty fast, but the flowers are quite large for what it is. I'm talking about my beautiful Iranges Articulata. So it's not a tiny Iranges, by the way. It's larger than the others that I own. I love the flower. I love the shape of the flower and how elegant it looks and the whole structure of it. And I think, yeah, again, it's just so elegant and so beautiful when it blooms. That warmed my heart. That's the reason why this plant made it to this list. With all of my other orchids, this one is one of the plants that I would keep, even with all of my other Iranges or Irangii, I don't know how do you pronounce it. So that's my 10th plant, and it completed my list of my favorite orchids. Let me know which ones are your favorite orchids. If any of these are on your wish list, which orchid do you think I should place on this list as well? I'd love to hear more from you. As you probably noticed, I didn't place any Cattleyas on this list because Cattleyas are a difficult plant for me. I think I'm getting better with them. I'll probably make a video about this soon. So I haven't seen a ton of Cattleyas blooms in my house, so I don't want to place here things that I probably have seen on the internet. No, I want to place things that I have experience with and I know that I enjoy so much keeping it inside my home. So that's why I made this list with things that I have experience with. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and let me know which type of content you enjoy the most. I will be here twice a week, probably Tuesdays and Fridays, or maybe Wednesdays and Fridays. Still trying to organize my schedule, but I'll keep you posted. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.